This program is brought to you in part by SalCal Real Estate Connections. Yes, welcome to Racing Action Today. And we're here today with a special guest who drives the SK Modified and also builds race cars. Our special guest today is going to be Matt Gallo. And I'm honored and privileged, Matt, to have you here today. And we are going to talk about you maintain and build these cars, number one, and you do other things in your shop, Gallo Auto, with the patriarch of the family, your father, Dave, right?
Yep.
Now tell me, how does one of these cars start? How do you start building one of these cars?
That's something you'd have to probably ask Eddie Flimpke about.
Yeah.
I mean, all I know is, he's the chassis builder, but building what we just get as a chassis.
I mean, do you get like a certain chassis at a certain point?
Yeah, we just you get a bare chassis. I mean, I'm sure you can buy them already made, but we never did that. There's no fun in just buying something already put together. So just this last chassis we got, we just bought it as a bare chassis, unpainted. We bought some bolt-on pieces. So we painted it ourselves in our spray booth.
Yep.
Painted it, changed it up and made it like a kind of like a petty blue.
Oh wow.
And you're just buying from distributors. Buy parts from Keith Rocker Racing or Troyer or.
So you go to different companies for different things.
Yep.
Now we do have some pictures of the bare chassis, which will show the people viewing. And so you start out with a chassis, and what really surprises me, it don't have to be brand new. This thing could be 5 years old or so, right?
Yeah.
I mean, or even older, right?
I mean, some people are out there with older 20-plus-year-old race cars, and
yeah.
I mean they've changed them up, make updates, safety updates, or weld different pieces here and there.
Yeah.
To up for the latest and greatest chassis stuff. But I mean, as long as it goes in a circle and it's straight.
So I've seen they change. They're constantly NASCAR doing tweaks here and there. And so every time they do this, you have to turn around and do it, right? Yourself, or do you rely on anyone else?
I mean, none of our stuff that we do is NASCAR anymore, but they do have, like they'll follow the NASCAR Will and Modified Tour rules, and they'll, whatever some rules that they put in place, they'll try to, have you implement in the other touring divisions that we run. I know, like they said, that the latest thing was with the blue bars on the driver's compartment, try to make a little bit more safety around the driver's head area, and making a lot of now the Nerf bars are a lot bigger and stronger, and
so they're constantly trying to make things safer,
Yeah, I mean everyone's trying to take safety into the forefront of it, and
I mean they make it so too you can literally cut it away a roll bar if you have to get a driver out.
Yep.
I mean, they have like places that you would actually get in to squeeze the bar and cut it, right?
Yeah, they actually, when I was involved in modified racing, is when they actually start putting in the intrusion plates on the left side of the driver.
That's
and they
correct.
Have a couple holes so they could put the jaws of life in there to actually cut the whole side of the car out. And if they have to pull the driver up from the side, you can do that.
So they made a lot of good strides there.
Yeah, they've always, I mean, if they're not making, doing something, there's no progress in safety. So they're always thinking of something.
So the chassis is the starting point, right? Then you got to start thinking about different front end parts, spindles, and all this kind of thing. But those are basically bought. Is that correct or no?
Yeah, I mean, you can make them. You can make anything, but it's easier, just more cost effective for us to just buy the part and I mean making some of those parts that just take too long, and you can just you can call up a company and just get it right off the shelf and have them send it down to you. So
that's a lot easier.
Yeah, it makes little time, puts more time on making the car faster versus trying to make the parts sometimes.
So now we move to the back of the car. There's the rear end. Now you have a choice either to go with a straight rear right?
Yep, so you can run a straight rear in the SKs, but in the tour type cars that we run, it's a quick change that you have to run.
Yeah, you have to run a quick change.
Yeah, you have to.
Wow.
That's one of the rules.
Wow, that's more cost, right?
Oh yes, yeah. It's I mean the tubes are cambered, so the rear end has the rear tires have some camber in them now.
I was totally shocked when it came to camber in the rear. I had no idea that this is what they do.
Yeah, it's I mean just like the front tires, how they're angled the way they are to maximize the grip. The rear tires, do the same thing when the tire kind of rolls in on itself. So
wow,
they even do that with the rear ends now.
So we got pretty much the chassis, the rear end we talked about. Now we're going to talk about the heart of the thing, the motor.
Yeah.
Now what? Now you need a motor for an SK or Tour. What do you do now?
You find a motor builder that you like or that you trust, and you stick with them, or
Now, is there a certain size you have to use?
For the tour type, we run all the open races. So I mean, the motor sizes can vary. I mean, you have a 358, a 364. We just got in a motor that they allowed. It's a 383.
But wow!
Yeah. So it makes power a little different ways. It's not all tuned up and as drastic as the smaller motors, but it has more displacement so that I can make power with a bigger motor versus having to sacrifice.
Now tell me, what kind of horsepower are we talking?
They make about like 360 horsepower. I mean, you'd probably be about 360 to 650 around there. It's probably what you're getting out of like a tour type car.
So you have your own motor person you use?
Yeah, we have a guy. It's out of Indiana. It's McGonigal Engine Performance,
and he builds motors for everybody.
He builds motors for late models, out all over the country, and he just started getting into the modifieds. So
wow! So this motor, I mean, to get one of these motors can't be cheap. Number one, right?
Yeah, I mean the motors that we run are a little cheaper. They're a little more cost effective. This is how they're made like a crate sealed motor, so you can't open it, you can't touch it.
Yeah.
You don't have to. It makes makes good power. So
I mean, it'd be impossible to kind of build your own motor right from scratch. Am I thinking right?
I mean, you could. If you got the technology and the know-how. I mean, if it was within the rules, you could do it.
You could do it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
We don't do that.
No. You got enough trouble to worry about.
We just go with people, motor builders that we've trusted over the years, and had them do it and think about it.
Oh wow, I'm impressed. I got to stop by and see this operation firsthand. And now, so let's move to the inside of the car. Now we're inside. You got to have a nice seat, right? Mm-hmm. Now, that has to be a certain spec or something.
Not for us. I mean, for like in the wheel and modified tour, you have to have a certain SFI rated seat. Mm-hmm. For my division, the open classes, you don't. I mean, it still has to be a safe seat. And has to be inspected by the track. But as long as it's good and safe, and your seat belts are up to date, your helmet's in date.
So everything is dated.
Yep.
Right? The seat belts have to be within a certain date.
Yeah,
your helmet has got to be within a certain SA or whatever spec, right?
I mean, the seat belts, you replace them every 3 years. I mean, they have a little date on them. The window nets get replaced every 3 years. So you're always replacing them. It seems like you get them, and as soon as you get them, you got to put new ones in.
Oh my dear. Now, what about your fire suit? Does that have to certain spec or?
I think they just look at, it doesn't have any tears. It's a double layer suit. I bought a 3-layer suit because I wanted to be a little extra precautious, and I always wear the underwear, Nutmeg underwear.
And everything,
my socks are fireproof.
Yeah.
So don't want to scrimp on safety.
No, safety is number one.
Yeah.
So beside building the car, putting it together, how about the body work? Now, what do you do for that?
I'll either make my own. For the longest time, I made my own bodies. So, but I've bought a couple here and there. I mean, but we have bought a big 6-foot brake, and you bend up around 10, and getting 4x8 sheets of aluminum, and bend it.
What I was shocked about, not shocked, but when I was working with Ed, when we were doing shows, this aluminum, I believe it's aluminum, would come painted and everything.
Yep.
You didn't even have to paint the car, right?
No.
Do you do that?
Just the chassis. I mean, you paint the roof because it's steel, but comes black. I mean, sometimes you can get like white on the inside, or black.
Yeah,
on
two
the
colors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yes.
it's good to have it white on the inside, so you can kind of see things.
You can see,
you
like,
can see if
there's
there's
an oil leak.
So you have the inside be white, so you can see things, and the outside, we went to a black chassis, black car. It's kind of tough to see at night, but I mean, I always wanted it to be black, so.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I like black cars, actually. And I'm going to tell you a funny story about seeing the car. Of course, we lost Billy Greco not too long ago, 2 months ago or so. And he told me a story once that I'll never forget. He, his brother George had always built cars, and Billy drove them. And George knew how to set up the car for him just by watching him out on the racetrack. So one day, they just got done building a car, and it came time to paint the car. So Billy went into the painter with red paint, their normal color, and that was fine. So he said, "I'll be in the morning to see the car." Well, Billy comes in the morning to look at the car. He gets there, and the car is deep pink. All right? And he said, "What the heck happened here?" He said, the painter said, "You gave me a can of red paint to paint the car. Your brother came in later, gave me a can of white paint, said paint the car white so I could see it better. And I mixed the two together, and that's what it is."
The best of both worlds, I guess.
Yeah. Who would have ever thought that, right?
Did he run it like that?
Yes, he did.
At that point, it was
Oddly
done.
enough, the car was very fast.
Yeah.
He ended up selling that car to Jojo Ferroni, actually, who got in a terrible accident with the car, but the car was fast. Wow, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he's a good driver.
He was. Billy was good, let me tell you. So building these cars, you do the body work, right? And you learned how to actually make panels yourself.
Yep. I mean, it's like my dad, basically telling me what to do. Said, make the tin, and this is what we need. And I just got better at it. And
if memory serves me correct, the roof has to be from a regular car, though, right?
They're stamped now. I mean, they were from
what do you call it? Like Vegas or not Vegas?
Like way back, I think it was like a Cavalier or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Like years ago, but now they're stamped out. You can get like a NASCAR kind of like a spec roof that they run, and you should kind of trim it down, to what size you want. But now the roofs are pretty much all the same.
But sideways, looking at the car, you're pretty open to what you. Like in the window areas, you could do just about what you want, right?
Yeah, I mean, you make your A-pillars, you can shape them kind of however you want.
Yep.
I mean, most of the time you'd want them not too big so you can see past them so they don't block too much of your vision. And then there's like a rule on the B-pillars. They can't be, any more forward of like the driver, so they have to be, some opening there.
Okay. Now, windshield-wise, do you still use like a plexiglass kind of thing?
Yep, it's like a quarter inch thick, and then
quarter inch. Okay, and that works out good, right?
Yeah, I mean now they're across the whole front of the windshield, so you don't. Before they were kind of like a bubble, so you'd get out of the race and you'd have speedy dry and tire and rubber all on your lap. You'd get out.
Now everything is extended.
Yeah, everything's kind of you're a little more contained in there.
Well,
so it's a little better.
Of course, we talked about the front end. They have these special things which really shocked me. They're like they look like ropes that hold the wheel.
The tethers
so the wheel won't fly off.
Yep.
Into the crowd, right?
Yep. You got that. I mean, I don't know when they started that, but I mean, NASCAR. I mean, every NASCAR has that, or Cup Series cars have it. I mean, everything has it.
And they're dated too. They're only good for so long.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, ours as long as they're not broken or physically like deformed or teared or have a rip in them, then they they'll let you run them.
Yeah. So you do all this work to the car. Now tell me, in the business, Gallo Auto, I understand you restore cars too. Is that correct?
Yep. Well, here and there, we don't make it our focus, but when there's time, that someone brings a car into us and we want to take it on, we'll restore them. And we have right now we have a 1966 Mustang that we had bought, and we replaced the whole floor. I had cut the whole front snout of the frame off and replaced that. We put disc brakes on it. We repainted the whole thing. And
wow.
Right now it's kind of in the process of, the downhill slide, just getting the interior back in and making it kind of, drivable. But we've done, tons of, restoration jobs.
Is that right? Yep. So that's wide open. I mean, it could be an old Model A, it could be, a special interest Corvette, right?
Yeah.
You work on fiberglass, number one.
Yeah, we do.
You do.
Not a lot, but I mean, it's a dirty job. I mean, dealing with fiberglass.
I cannot do that. I would start itching like you would not believe.
It's not fun. We used to do a lot more of it, working on truck noses and stuff. And you get home at the end of the day, your arms would be all red.
Oh my dear. Oh boy.
Yeah, it was not fun.
No.
So I don't miss doing that too much.
Wow. So now at Gallo, you do mechanical work, right?
Yep. We do mechanical work, AC, suspension work, motor work. Body work and all that good stuff.
It's like a one-stop shopping, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can even tow them in.
Yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to ask you. You have a beautiful roll-away truck for hauling cars.
Yep.
I mean, these things are not cheap.
No, they're not. Especially over the last 2 years, they're definitely not cheap.
I mean, my history with these things. I mean, back in the day, for $50,000, you bought one of these. Them days are long gone.
Yeah, those days are way gone.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Maybe
if you want to use one, you could pick it up for that.
Yeah, I mean, I am just shocked by it. The truck you have looks beautiful, though. I'll tell you, beautiful.
Yeah,
so I'll letter it up with your logo, and and so you do towing too. Another sideline.
Yep.
You're on the list for the town?
Yep, we tow for the police department and police rotation work, and we have our customers, or we tow for other garages that towing cars to them, and anyone that just needs a.
So anyone who has like an antique car needs it taken somewhere, or a regular car, you will do it.
We'll do it.
Now, tell me, is it you or Dad? Does he do it too, or no?
He used to, but I mean, it's.
He don't crawl on any cars no more. Huh?
He will sometimes.
He will,
if he's, if I'm not there, we have other employees that do the towing too. But sometimes I feel like he still likes to, do it sometimes.
Yeah. Recently, I had my old truck I sold to one of my grandkids, and the thing kept having problems with. It was an F-150, and it had the manifolds on them, the 4.6, would crack.
That's how I'm doing that right now, fixing manifolds on a Ford.
I don't doubt it. And
not fun.
Then you change that manifold, right? This thing kept blowing off a cap that was on the back of the manifold because that particular model didn't require that port. And there was a cap on it. It kept blowing this cap off, and of course the people had AAA or something, and the thing would end up in my house. Bring it to Grandpa's house. You
were trying to get rid of it, and it would just come right back.
Oh yeah,
it didn't want to get rid of you.
And the last guy that brought the truck or the car had a rollaway, a Jardin, which that's the kind I really like.
Yeah,
I like
that's what we use.
Oh, is that right? I
that's-
like them. I really like them, but I just can't believe what they cost. I mean, it's just horrendous, How the hell do you afford one of these things? You know what I'm saying?
Provide good service and
Yeah.
have people keep calling you back.
Yeah. I mean, now, do you use it that often enough to pay
Yeah,
for
our
it?
trucks are rolling every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have a conventional wreck or two?
Yeah, we have two.
Yeah.
We have one that's got like a conventional boom and a wheel lift separate, and then we
Yeah.
have another one that's got like an automated. You can control it from inside the cab, and
wow.
you can pick up a car, by sitting right in the truck and just with a couple buttons and hook it up and get right out of there.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's convenient.
Boy, you got some good toys, kid.
I know.
Huh?
It makes the job easier.
Yeah. Now, beside you and your father, anyone else in the family involved in the business?
Yeah, my mother's there. My sister's there. Doing office things. And then we got two other employees.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's another family affair.
Well, the question I have for you, which is kind of in my head. Here you are racing in Dad's history. As far as I knew your family, your father, there's livestock here. There's a farm.
Yeah,
there's horses.
Yeah, he's
How do you get from horses to racing? I guess I kept saying. Number one. Number two, were you ever involved in the horses?
I was never. I mean, I'd like to pet him or look at him, but my dad wanted his hobbies, and he made sure that he had his hobbies. Racing and horses, that's what he loves to do.
He loves the horses, I'll tell you. And I always kidded him about Allison and Lily. I said, I love the both of them. I always,
That's, my sister, took after the horse, and, that's her,
That's her thing.
That's her hobby, and I like them. I don't really do much with them other than, if they're at the house and I'll pet them and say hi to them. They're cool, but.
Well, like I said, it was kind of odd to me. I said, geez, he's involved in all this racing.
He likes horsepower.
And he's got horses in the farm, But that's the reason why. Yeah. Does your mom do anything with horses?
She feeds them once in a while.
Yeah. She likes them better than the race car, huh?
I don't know. I never asked her which one she enjoys more. Yeah. That'd be a question for you to ask her. I'll have to get back to you on that.
All told, Matt, how long would you say you've been involved in racing and working on cars?
I like 20, 25 years.
Oh, wow.
Almost.
Wow. That's
a long time.
That's good.
Pretty much ever since was born, I was into it because my dad would always bring me to the shop, or I'd always see what he was doing. If I wasn't in school, in the summer, he'd drag me to the shop when I'd be sweeping the steps or sweeping the floor.
Yeah, you're learning.
So I was always doing something there, watching him or working on the race cars. So
he's a special guy, number one, and I always enjoy talking with him at the fair and. You're in the horses. Ben, oh my dear, I talk about a special animal. Oh boy,
Yeah, he couldn't have just one. He's got to have a couple horses because they need friends. So.
Oh yeah. Well, time has kind of come to the end for us this show. Matt, you've been excellent, and I'm really anxious to get over to your shop to see all your toys.
Anytime.
Wow. Let me tell you, I am so impressed that the fact that you do all these things, And of course, Dad, he's number one. He's the guy, huh? He was the guy that got this whole thing going, right?
So if he ever wants anyone to blame us, having expensive hobbies, he's the one.
He's the one, yeah. Well,
but he loves it too, so.
He's enjoying it too, and I'm sure pretty soon, I hope you're going to have a family pretty soon.
We're working on it.
You're working on it, okay. Because you got to teach him how to race too, or her.
Yeah.
Today, girls are just as good as boys, let me tell you. Well, Matt, I want to thank you for coming today. And you've seen it first on Race in Action today. And tune in next week as we're back at it again. And believe me, I hope we get more talent in here like Matt. Thank you and good night. This program is brought to you in part by Just Results Weight Loss Center in Berlin, Connecticut.
The Saybrook Fish House in Canton has been serving fresh seafood, chicken, and prime steaks for 40 years. Experience one of our 3 unique dining room settings, 2 with fireplaces, or relax in our cozy pub with a craft beer, wine by the glass, or specialty cocktail while enjoying a meal from our new lighter fare pub menu. Serving lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Reservations accepted for parties of 2 to 42. Gift cards always available. The Saybrook Fish House, nestled at the crossroads of routes 44, 202, and 179 in Canton.
Follow us on Instagram at nutmeg.tv.